Hey everyone, it's Kai from Kool Collectibles back again for another video. Well, this is part 2 to my install video for the lights I got from Sahmez Lights Decals. Their Facebook page has got a whole bunch of collector photos and so on from other collectors who have set up their Detolfs with these lights, and they will do a far better job than I will do once I do this setup, but I'll give you an indication at least on how you might be able to go about it. So I've slipped through, in my previous part 1 video I showed you this grey wire, which essentially is the main wire that connects to these little control boxes, and so it connects to one of these main outlets here, and this peg connects to the power point. So that's the main LED light cable, and so you pretty much cable it up the grey frame of the Detolf, and you just have to be careful because you want, I guess, the glass shelf to be as far forward as you can get it, but as you'll see, you do need to give some space for putting in the actual adhesive backing. So you probably need about a centimeter or so on each side, just to be able to get it to fit, because you do want the cable, the connection point here, to be able to stick up and be able to still connect to the particular light. So just be careful there, and then you pretty much just pull the cable tight. So at the moment I've got it fairly loose, but you just pull it tight and then tighten it and attach it to the rear of this via some cable ties. So I'll give you a look at that once I set it up, but that's pretty much the gist of it. So this top one will essentially go up on the frame along there just behind my sort of weather stripping there. But while I'm on the weather stripping, a few others have commented on you know, where I got that and so on. And now I did do a previous video that I'll put in the link to the description as well on where I got that from and how I installed it, but I'll give you a quick rundown now. This is just foam weather stripping that I just found at the local hardware store called Bunnings here in Australia, and it's about 1/2 centimeter wide and 1/2 centimeter in depth, and you pretty much just stick it along the frame as you close the door so it fills in the gaps. So I'll just get that out the way. So as I close the door, you'll see that it fills pretty nicely the gap that would be left between the frame and the door, and similarly on this side, on the hinge side, and similarly on top. You're still going to get a little bit of dust, but it reduces it to about 5% dust in my opinion. Previously I was probably dusting every couple of weeks, and I could run my hand along the glass and see dust on my hands. Now I can only sort of see dust on my fingers after about you know, 6 to 8 months. So it does reduce it a lot. So I definitely recommend it. And it does have adhesive backing, and so you pretty much just buy the roll of it and just roll it along as close on this edge as you can, and then probably on this side maybe a centimeter or so in, and similarly on this side. You need to put it in slightly on this side so it doesn't get caught in the hinge or the door as you close it. But that's pretty much it for the foam. I went with grey just because it's sort of you don't tend to notice it. If it was white or something like that, it will probably stand out more. So grey, people don't even really notice it until I sort of point it out to them as they look through the cabinets. But moving on from that, the lights are pretty much set up so that this top one sort of runs along the top like so, and I'll put it at that sort of position, and you just sort of cable it. It's just sort of fell down now, but you sort of make sure you cable it and tighten it around this grey frame, and then just place this glass shelf as far forward as you can and have the light on the probably a centimeter or so in from that edge, and probably a centimeter or so from the sides as well. So I'll stick a few onto these glass shelves and give you guys a look at that. Hold on. Alright, so I've installed the first strip onto the lowest shelf here on the Detolf, and what I've noticed is that you just have to be a little bit careful on how you stick the adhesive on and just press down to get rid of as many of the sort of air bubbles as you can. So you might just need to sort of hold your finger on there for a little bit to get rid of that. But once that's done, that's not too bad. And as I was saying before, you just need to make sure with the cable on this side, just push the glass shelf as far forward as you can, you know, still allowing space for the wire to feed through, but also give enough room for this little connection piece to bend down and be able to connect to that connection point. And it should be roughly equal distance from the side of that glass to the side of that glass where the strip goes, and just to make it as close as possible to that front edge, maybe with 1/2 centimeter or so inside from the front edge. And so once you do that, I'll just grab the little remote control here. So the remote control is pretty damn good. You can control the brightness, and I've turned it on the brightest setting, and it is pretty bright, and you can go quite a way to making it fairly dim as well. And because on this connection here, I've got it connected to the blue, you can connect up 3 other Detolfs and control all 3 Detolfs within the one controller. And because I've got it on blue, I can just control it via pressing the blue button here. So you'll see the other ones are red and green for the red and green buttons here. But if I just press that and turn it on, you'll see that it is quite bright. And there are the lights there. And it is a sort of a whitish, cool white color. I'm not sure if it's coming up sort of yellowish there, but it does look quite bright white in hand. And if I just press the sort of dimming button, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that it slowly dims away there. And that probably is now the dimmest it'll go. And then if I press the brightness setting to go all the way up again, you'll see that it brightens all the way up, which is pretty damn bright. So pretty simple, and it's got a whole bunch of other features as well with what is this? Flashing, strobing, fading, and so on. So you can have it, you know, fade in and out, etc. But I'll probably just keep it in this sort of either on-off mode. So I'll finish up going through the rest of them and give you guys a look at how you can, or what it looks like once it's all sort of set up. Alright, so I've done the second shelf now, and you'll see that once you get the first one in and you run the cable up to do the second, the grey cable is pretty much tightened for you, and you pretty much just need to hide it behind the grey frame just with your cable ties. So I haven't done that quite yet, but the length is pretty much customized perfectly for these Detolf shelves. So similarly with this one, I'll just be pulling that a bit tighter and just feeding it through this little gap at the bottom. So I won't even have to cut off this foam weather strip. It's soft enough for me to just push it against and feed it through that gap in the door. So no issue there. Now, because I've got the Luke here, I can't put the third shelf in, but I'll finish it off at the top here and give you guys a look at how I'll pretty much set up this one and leave it at that. Now, one other thing I'll point out, I just closed the door just to show you that the cable can fit through the gap on this side of the door. Now, I guess on the other side of the door, I've got the weather strip, but there is still a little bit of a gap here, and you know, some collectors might prefer to have the cable coming out of here. Now, I guess I'm always a little bit paranoid about when you open the door and the hinge sort of catching on something that's sticking through there. So I'll probably leave mine sticking out through this side of the door and not the hinge side, but I guess depending on how you want to set it up, you could also do it through there as well. And I guess you would just have to stick the connection point on the other side. So plenty of options there. It's not sort of one single way, but Sahmez Lights and Decals might, I think they might recommend going through the hinge side, but I might try that on one of the other ones next time. But for now, I think I'll continue to have it sticking out through this door end and then just feeding underneath the base here, and then going through underneath to my power point. So I'll probably leave it at that, and I'll finish off the lights now and give you guys a look at the finished Detolf. Alright, so I've put the last strip on the top there. I guess it's not too bad that I've got this weather strip at the top as well, because it sort of hides the LED strip there, and you just sort of get the light shining down on the figure, which is quite nice. And so the cable just runs along the side there, and I'll show you guys in a bit what it looks like after I've cable tied everything. But you just sort of hide it behind there, and you can't even really see the cable until it comes up to that connection point. So again, I don't have that third shelf in there, but the connection point will just be there waiting for when and if I need it. But the others are all in place like so, and it looks pretty damn good. And it is actually quite bright, so I do like that. I do have it on the brightest setting at the moment, but I'll just finish cable tying everything up, and then showing you guys what it looks like there. Alright, so I've just done the cable tying. I haven't cut off the excess there yet, but I guess if you have a look at it from the front, it does hide the grey cable fairly well. You sort of can see it somewhere, but you just sort of might need to just futz around with it a little bit. But once you sort of get it right with the cable ties, I'll probably want to just adjust the cable tie so that the big knob at the front is trying to face the back, and just adjust it to hide the cable tie a bit more. But for the grey wire itself, it's pretty well hidden. So I've only used one at the bottom here, one here, so essentially one for every shelf. Now I guess you could maybe do with, if it feels a bit loose and you're not feeling that it's hiding it too well, you can probably add a couple more just to hold it in place a little bit better. But on the most part, it does look pretty well hidden, as you can see there. So overall, it's a pretty damn easy setup to install. I guess the only thing that I would recommend is definitely press on the adhesive backing to just make sure that as many of those air bubbles are pushed out and it's stuck on there correctly. But other than that, it's pretty much just making sure that the wire is hidden well, and use the cable ties. You definitely do need cable ties to get the look right. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So I think Sahmez Lights Decals also do custom lighting. So if you're into you know, I guess your custom shelves or bigger shelves like the one that I've got over here, you know, I've got installed sort of lights that I probably would never use. So for something like that, or a custom shelf, definitely get in touch with them and see if they can do any sort of custom lighting for you. And check out all the other photos on their Facebook page, because some of the other collectors out there have some amazing collections out there with some amazing setups. So that's pretty much it. Hope you like that look at how to install these. Hopefully it's not telling you guys how to suck eggs, and it has been useful for you. And I think I'll definitely be looking forward to setting up the other 3 Detolfs that I got here. So thanks again. Hope you like that look, and hope you can click that subscribe button. I've got Hot Toys, Vader, and Sideshow 3PO coming up soon. So hopefully you can subscribe and stay tuned for all of that. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers. Bye.